Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Ramya with the Midday News. The headlines. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejects appeal of opposition leader Mallikarjun Kharge for revocation of suspension of 12 MPs of the House. Both houses of Parliament adjourned till 2 p.m. Government informs in Parliament a large number of provisions of Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Act 2014 have been implemented and remaining provisions at various stages of implementation. Information and Broadcasting Minister says Prasar Bharati is striving to develop next generation broadcast solution consistent with 5G broadcast. From Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Infinity Forum, a thought leadership forum on fintech on 3rd of December. No case of new COVID variant Omicron reported in any part of the country, says Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia in Rajya Sabha. Revised guidelines for international arrivals in India in view of the new Omicron variant to be effective from tomorrow. 123 crore 27 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.35%. Canada allows entry to persons inoculated with Covaxin from today. Admiral R. Harikumar assumes charge as the 25th Chief of the Naval Staff. As India created history by administering over 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 01123978046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has rejected the appeal of Leader of Opposition Mallikarjun Kharge seeking revocation of suspension of 12 MPs of the House. Yesterday, the Rajya Sabha had approved the motion moved by Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi for suspension of 12 MPs from the current session for their unruly behaviour during the last day of the monsoon session of Parliament.
The Rajya Sabha is a continuing institution. Chairman can take action and also the House can take action. You try to mislead the House, you disturb the House, you ransack the table and you also throw the papers on the chair and also some of them gone onto the table. Then you are giving me lessons. So this is not the way. The motion was moved, it was approved, action is taken, it is final.
Mr. Naidu said that action in this regard has been taken by the House and not by him. He said these members have even not expressed remorse for their behaviour and action taken in this regard is final. After that, members from opposition parties including Congress, AAP and RJD started sloganeering. Later, the opposition members including from the Congress, AAP and RJD staged a walkout. The members who were suspended from the current session included 6 members from the INC, 2 each from the TMC and Shiv Sena and 1 each from the CPI and the CPI-M. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi has said the revocation of the suspension of 12 opposition MPs is possible only if the members apologise in the House for their unruly behaviour. Talking to newspersons outside Parliament, he said an opportunity was given to the MPs to apologise earlier, which they failed to avail. He asked the Congress leadership if such unruly behaviour of the MPs what was witnessed on the last day of the monsoon session of Parliament could be supported by it.
A group of the opposition MPs staged a demonstration in front of the Mahatma Gandhi statue in the Parliament premises demanding the revocation of the suspension of the 12 Rajya Sabha members. Mr. Anand Sharma of the INC said the suspension is unfortunate and urged to revoke it.
It's most unfortunate the suspension of the members in this session for whatever unfortunate situation was forced upon in the last session. It is unprecedented, violative of rules, and we have urged the Honourable Chairman to revoke the suspension. The Honourable Prime Minister has repeatedly said he wants discussion and debate. He wants smooth functioning of the House. The government should respect that.
Mr. Manoj Jha of the RJD also demanded the revocation of the suspension, saying the action against the MPs is contrary to democratic principles.
ये निलंबन जो है पूर्णतः अलोकतांत्रिक है और हमारी परंपराओं के खिलाफ। इस निलंबन के संदर्भ को देखना होगा।
Earlier, a section of the MPs, including from the INC, DMK, Shiv Sena and the National Conference, staged a walkout from both the houses over the issue of the suspension of the 12 Rajya Sabha members. Union Minister Piyush Goyal has strongly refuted the allegation by the opposition of not following the due procedures on the suspension of the 12 MPs. Talking to the media outside the Parliament, he said the motion on the suspension has been moved by the Parliamentary Affairs Minister by following the laid down norms.
पार्लियामेंट को डेमोक्रेटिक तरीके से फंक्शन नहीं करने देने के कारण ये गंभीर स्थिति उत्पन्न हुई और उसमें सदन का भी अपमान, कलीग्स का अपमान बार बार होता रहे। मार्शल्स के ऊपर जो हमला हुआ उसके लिए भी कोई खेद नहीं व्यक्त करने को तैयार है, कोई माफी मांगने को तैयार नहीं है। इन सबको मद्देनजर रखते हुए ये आवश्यक था कि कार्रवाई ली जाए।
The Lok Sabha has been adjourned till 2 p.m. amid ruckus by opposition members. As soon as the House met for the day, DMK and Congress members tried to raise farmers' issues. TRS members trooped to the well of the House, raising slogans. As sloganeering took place, Speaker Om Birla asked opposition members to remain quiet. Members of the Congress and other opposition parties walked out of the House in support of the 12 Rajya Sabha members who were suspended yesterday for the remaining part of the current session. Later, the Speaker adjourned the House till 2 p.m. Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said the government is taking various steps to increase the income of farmers, in which enhancement of agri-exports is also one of the focused actions. He said agriculture exports help farmers to take advantage of wider international market, which translates into increased income for the farmers. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha, Mr. Tomar said 1 lakh crore rupee agri-infrastructure fund has been set up for post-harvest infrastructure. The minister also said Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana and implementation of National Beekeeping Honey Mission are also being supported by higher budgetary allocations. He said the government is also promoting organic farming, which is sustainable, chemical-free agriculture system that excludes the use of synthetic inputs in farming. News Just in, the Lok Sabha has been adjourned till 3 p.m.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur said Prasar Bharati has entered into Memorandum of Understanding with IIT Kanpur to develop new generation broadcast solution for digital terrestrial broadcasting consistent with emerging standards such as 5G broadcast. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha, Mr. Thakur said sanction for the proof of concept of next generation broadcasting has also been conveyed to IIT Kanpur. Minister of State for Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries, Sanjeev Balyan today said an estimated additional direct and indirect employment opportunities up to 50 lakh farmers and rural entrepreneurs will be created in the cattle, dairy, poultry and fodder sector. Replying to the questions in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Balyan said, in order to enhance milk production and productivity of indigenous bovine breeds, government has been implementing Rashtriya Gokul Mission since December 2014.
Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has said no case of Omicron, the new COVID variant, has been reported in any part of the country. In reply to a question in the Rajya Sabha, Mr. Mandavia said that so far the new variant has been reported in 14 countries. He informed that all precautionary measures are being taken to prevent the virus from entering into India. The Health Minister informed the House that, however, the COVID situation in the country is under control, but the threat of virus is still prevailing. He also reiterated the Prime Minister's appeal of following COVID-appropriate behavior to check the spread of COVID-19. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan today chaired a review meeting on Omicron variant of COVID-19 with states through video conferencing. The Omicron variant does not escape RT-PCR and RAT tests. During the meeting, Mr. Bhushan said Har Ghar Dastak campaign for the door-to-door vaccination will be continued till 31st of December with a focus on 100% COVID-19 vaccine first dose coverage. He said the focus will also be on completing the backlog of the second dose of vaccine. Mr. Bhushan advised the states to ramp up testing for early identification of positive cases and early management.
In view of reporting of Omicron, the new variant of COVID-19, the Union Health Ministry has revised guidelines for international arrivals in India to be effective from tomorrow. The ministry has mandated submitting 14 days travel details, uploading negative RT-PCR test reports on Air Suvidha portal before the journey. The RT-PCR test should have been conducted within 72 hours prior to undertaking the journey. Centre has asked all states and union territories for rigorous screening and testing of all international arrivals in view of the emergence of highly mutated COVID-19 variant. Union Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla has written a letter to all chief secretaries and administrators of states and union territories in this regard. He said the contacts of these international travellers must also be closely tracked and tested as per Health Ministry guidelines.
Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has directed the Health Department to increase COVID testing after cluster outbreaks were reported from Mysuru, Bengaluru, Anekal, Dharwad and Hassan. Speaking to media persons in Bengaluru today, the Chief Minister said the Delta strain continues to be a cause of concern in the state and necessary measures are taken to curb its spread. Along with testing, concentration is on screening and tracking of positive cases and their contacts and vigilance at the state borders. The government has said that over 137 crore 71 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the centre's free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. The Health Ministry said more than 22 crore 70 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs to be administered.
123 crore 27 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The recovery rate is currently at 98.35%, which is the highest since March last year. There has been a total of 10,116 recoveries in the last 24 hours. 6,990 new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload now stands at 1,543. Active cases account for less than 1% of the total cases. The Assam government has launched a massive COVID-19 vaccination drive across the state to achieve 100% success in the vaccination process. Participating in an AIR talk show today, State Mission Director of the National Health Mission, Dr. Lakshmanan S., said that 46,000 people were vaccinated on the first day yesterday. The mission director said that 30,000 medical teams are pressed into services in the massive vaccination drive. Assam has a target of vaccinating 2.13 crore people, out of which nearly 2.11 crore people have got the first jab.
Speaking to All India Radio, Dr. N.K. Arora, Chairman COVID Task Force, spoke about the new Omicron variant and possible infections.
The whole world is really worried with new COVID variant, Omicron. And this is a new variant where almost 60 to 70 mutations have occurred in one virus. And this variant has first been described from South Africa, but over a matter of days, this has spread to almost 20 countries across the world. It is considered to be more infectious, but the information is still scanty. The WHO has announced this as to be a variant of concern. That means the countries and the communities have to be worried about it and take preventive steps.
In our bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Alok Thakkar from AIIMS, New Delhi will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free number 1-800-11-5767 and on telephone number 011-233-14444. You can also post your queries on Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.nic.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. Canada will allow entry to persons who have been vaccinated with Bharat Biotech's Covaxin vaccine against coronavirus disease COVID-19 from today. The approval for the Hyderabad-based company's vaccine was given on the 19th of this month. Fully vaccinated individuals with right of entry to Canada who depart and re-enter the country within 72 hours of leaving Canada will not have to present a pre-entry molecular test. This will also apply to their accompanying children under 12 years, regardless of whether or not the children are vaccinated.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejects appeal of opposition leader Mallikarjun Kharge for revocation of suspension of 12 MPs of the House. Lok Sabha adjourned till 3 p.m. Government informs in Parliament a large number of provisions of Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Act 2014 have been implemented and remaining provisions at various stages of implementation. Information and Broadcasting Minister says Prasar Bharati is striving to develop new generation broadcast solution consistent with 5G broadcast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Infinity Forum, a thought leadership forum on fintech on 3rd of December. No case of new COVID variant Omicron reported in any part of the country, says Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandviya in Rajya Sabha. Revised guidelines for international travel arrivals in India in view of the new Omicron variant to be effective from tomorrow. 123 crore 27 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate stands at 98.35%. Canada allows entry to persons inoculated with Covaxin from today. Admiral R. Hari Kumar assumes charge as the 25th Chief of the Naval Staff. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Infinity Forum, a thought leadership forum on fintech, on the 3rd of December via video conferencing. The event is being hosted by International Financial Services Centres Authority under the aegis of Government of India in collaboration with Gift City and Bloomberg. Indonesia, South Africa and the UK are partner countries in the first edition of the forum. Infinity Forum will bring together leading minds of the world in policy, business and technology. They will discuss and come up with actionable insight into how technology and innovation can be leveraged by the fintech industry for inclusive growth and serving humanity at large. The agenda of the forum will focus on the theme of Beyond. Admiral R. Hari Kumar today assumed charge as the 25th Chief of the Naval Staff. He received the Guard of Honour at the South Block Lawns in New Delhi as the new Chief of Naval Staff. Admiral Hari Kumar succeeds Admiral Karambir Singh, who superannuated today. Talking to reporters, Admiral Hari Kumar said it is a matter of great honour for him to take charge as the Chief of Naval Staff of the Indian Navy. He said the focus of the Indian Navy is on national maritime interests and maritime security challenges.
भारतीय नौसेना का फोकस हमारे नेशनल मैरिटाइम इंटरेस्ट और मैरिटाइम सिक्योरिटी चैलेंजेस पर है और इसके लिए हम अपना पूरा ताकत लगाएंगे.
Admiral R. Hari Kumar was commissioned on the 1st of January 1983 into the executive branch of the Indian Navy. During his long and distinguished service, spanning nearly 39 years, he has served in a variety of command, staff and instructional appointments. He has been decorated with the Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal and Vishisht Seva Medal.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle.
In today's episode, we remember patriot Parhasi Raja, who was martyred on the 30th of November 1805. He was the de facto head of the Kingdom of Kottayam in the Malabar area of Kerala between 1774 and 1805 and fought the British East India Company. Born as Kerala Varma, he was popularly known as Kerala Simham, the Lion of Kerala, on account of his martial exploits.
In 1792, the East India Company acquired control of the Kottayam area and appointed Veera Varma as the Raja of Kottayam, surpassing Parhasi Raja's claim to the throne. Veera Varma, who was Raja's uncle, imposed exorbitant taxes on peasantry to meet the revenue targets fixed by company authorities. In 1793, Raja, who was always opposed to the company's rule, led a peasant mass resistance against this economic exploitation.
In 1796, the company tried to arrest Parhasi Raja, but he fought back, using guerrilla warfare, forcing the British to sue for peace. In 1797, however, the conflict was renewed in 1800 over a dispute on Wayanad. Parhasi Raja was forced to take refuge in the wilderness of Wayanad, where he organized the Kurichia tribes and, using guerrilla warfare, created many difficulties for the British forces.
In 1805, the British were finally able to subdue Raja's forces, but they could not catch him alive as he killed himself in the interiors of the forest. AIR salutes the valiant warrior king, Parhasi Raja.
Today we also remember freedom fighter and revolutionary Gendalal Dikshit, who was born on the 30th of November 1888.
His biography was written by another great revolutionary, Ram Prasad Bismil, with the pen name of Agyat, in the Hindi magazine Prabha in 1924, published from Kanpur.
Gendalal was born in Uttar Pradesh and was a teacher by profession. When Lord Curzon ordered the division of Bengal, a Swadeshi movement arose throughout the country, and Gendalal got inspired by the writings of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He took leave of absence from his job and went to the nearby princely state of Gwalior to encourage youth towards the freedom movement.
He established the Shivaji Samiti as a means to this end and engaged in guerrilla warfare against the British forces. He also actively collaborated with Ram Prasad Bismil and helped Bismil in expanding operations of his organization Matri Vedi in the city of Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh.
वक्त आने पर बता देंगे तुझे ओ आसमां हम अभी से क्या बताएं क्या हमारे दिल में.
Gendalal was arrested for his involvement in the Mainpuri conspiracy of 1918 and imprisoned, first at Agra Fort and later at Mainpuri. He managed to escape from prison and died on 21st of December 1920 in a government hospital at Delhi after contracting tuberculosis. We salute this great Indian revolutionary.
We also remember the leader of the pre-Gandhian era, Ramesh Jandardat, who died on the 30th of November 1909. Dutt was a moderate himself, but it is said that through his criticisms of the economic policies of the British government, he contributed significantly to the growth of political radicalism.
R.C. Dutt was the second Indian to clear the ICS exam after Surendranath Tagore. He resigned from service to help create public opinion in India and England in favor of reforming the government of India by pointing out its mistakes and suggesting measures, including gradual institutional changes and greater participation of Indians in all branches of administration.
3 publications by Dutt dealt with the economic effects of British colonial rule in India. Dutt chaired the 1899 session of the Indian National Congress. We salute this great Indian.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
In today's episode of Aparajita, we will bring you the story entitled Bhogeshwari Phuknani Ki Shaurya Gatha, Akashvani Ki Zubani.
We have news just in. The Rajya Sabha has been adjourned for the day. Chinese President Xi Jinping yesterday said that China would encourage its companies to invest no less than $10 billion in Africa over the next 3 years. Addressing the 8th Ministerial Conference of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation virtually, President Xi said that China will set up a China-Africa cross-border yuan center to provide African financial institutions with a credit line of $10 billion. The announcement comes amid alarm over what is described as China's debt trap diplomacy.
In FIH Junior World Cup Hockey, all last 8 engagements will be held tomorrow at Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar. Germany will clash with Spain at 10:30 a.m. in the first quarter-final, while Netherlands will take on Argentina at 1 p.m. France will face Malaysia in the quarter-finals at 4:30 p.m. and in the fourth quarter-final match, India will take on Belgium at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. All India Radio will broadcast the commentary live on the quarter-final match of FIH Junior World Cup Hockey between India and Belgium.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have mist. It recorded a minimum temperature of 10 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 26 degrees. Mumbai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. It noted a minimum temperature of 24 degrees, maximum expected to be around 33. Chennai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. There will not be much change in temperature as it will vary between 25 and 29 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky. The city noted a minimum temperature of 17 degrees, maximum expected to be around 28. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejects appeal of opposition leader Mallikarjun Kharge for revocation of suspension of 12 MPs of the House. Lok Sabha adjourned till 3 p.m. while Rajya Sabha adjourned for the day. Government informs in Parliament a large number of provisions of Andhra Pradesh Reorganisation Act 2014 have been implemented and remaining provisions at various stages of implementation. Information and Broadcasting Minister says Prasar Bharati is striving to develop next generation broadcast solution consistent with 5G broadcast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Infinity Forum, a thought leadership forum on fintech on 3rd of December. No case of new COVID variant Omicron reported in any part of the country, says Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia in Rajya Sabha. Revised guidelines for international arrivals in India in view of the new Omicron variant to be effective from tomorrow. 123 crore 27 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered so far under nationwide vaccination drive. Recovery rate at 98.35%. Canada allows entry to persons inoculated with Covaxin from today. And with that, we end the midday news.